Hello, welcome to Spec Tech again. It's been a while since I've uploaded any videos. I had to move, and obviously I got something interesting here that takes a little bit of priority. This will be the first part. I know I'm not very good at making follow-ups to my videos, but I'm actually going to try. I'm recording this at about almost 5 in the morning. What better time to talk about the Switch 2? This isn't going to be a review. This is just kind of... I've had this for almost a week now. I just wanted to chat a little bit about it. So the Switch 2. I decided to trade in my childhood GameCube and my 3DS XL to GameStop, which the GameStop employee accidentally traded in as a new 3DS, so I ended up getting a lot of more credit for it. So I only paid about $140 for the Mario Kart bundle. So pretty good deal, I guess. 140 bucks. I also got the Steam Deck for a similar price for about 60 bucks a long time ago, but that's a story for another time. Spoiler, I don't have the Steam Deck anymore, so I have an Aya Neo 2 Air, which kind of sucks, but it runs Windows, and I can play a little bit more games on it, but I also have this. This is Switch 2. I feel like most people have seen better videos of this thing, so I don't think I need to go too much in detail. I'm just going to talk about my personal experiences with this thing so far. So, the Joy-Cons are the first thing to talk about. They're actually not total crap this time. They're larger. The stick is like really good. I mean, it still doesn't use Hall Effect. I think I'm actually going to install Hall Effect sensors in the Switch 2 Joy-Cons if like a kit comes out. Like, honestly, I think these controllers are pretty good. The SLSR buttons actually are like buttons now, and they're metal and they feel good. They feel clicky. They kind of feel like go back a little bit. They kind of feel like keyboard buttons almost. Feel like keys. And I like the fact that you can just yank that off. I don't know why this camera's having such a hard time focusing. I guess the lighting is here is even worse than my old place. Hey, you know, whatever, it'd be like that. But yeah, the Joy-Cons are nice. So I wish they had analog triggers. Like, they're releasing GameCube games now, and no analog triggers. They want you to buy the controller and use the controller, which I do want to get the controller at some point, but I think it's out of stock right now. But I think the fact that we don't have analog ZL triggers is still lame. Like, that was something that should have been in 2017 with the original Switch. But I'm surprised they didn't even do like a Joy-Con Pro, like the Xbox Elite or the DualSense Edge or whatever, or Pro, whatever. Maybe release some Joy-Cons that actually have a D-pad and analog triggers, maybe even just for the left Joy-Con. Right one probably doesn't need it as much. There's not really much more you can change. I mean, I guess analog trigger, but like, I don't know. I feel like analog trigger should be the industry standard by now. Another thing I have a complaint about, minor complaint, is I don't really like that these only charge for the grip. That's $40 fucking dollars. Well, I connected to the Switch too. Yes, it's gonna be third-party chargers and stuff, but I feel like they should at least have a USB-C port or support wireless charging if that's possible, like on the pad. Especially considering like these can go into mouse mode. I think it would have been a nice touch if these could like be placed them face down on like a charging mat. But that would also probably cost like $50, so well, whatever. Battery life of these things hasn't really been anything I've been testing or anything on, but they seem to be longer than the original Joy-Cons. Just kind of surprising. The original Joy-Cons, I don't have any anymore, so I can't really grab them out, but my god, they're so tiny. They feel like baby toys. These actually feel like something an adult would use. They're big. They should fit in your hands quite nicely. They're made out of a matte finish, which is kind of reminds me of the original Black DSi. I feel like the Black DSi is just a controller, and I like that the colors are a bit more muted, like it's a bit more black. I think people be like, these are really boring, but I'm like, I think they kind of complete the look of the whole tablet feel that Nintendo was going for. If they're definitely gonna release some wackier Joy-Cons down the line, absolutely. But I like that their colors are just kind of, there's less of it. I think that looks kind of good. So, sorry, this is a rambling video, in a way. I'm not really doing a proper review, like I might not even boot up a game or nothing, I'm just gonna kind of talk. Think like Scott's Stash, but way worse. But, the controllers are alright. I prefer when I'm using TV mode, because yes, the system's actually making me use TV mode, which is, I'm more of a handheld guy, but Mario Kart is just such a addicting thing to play, especially when other people want to join, so okay, I'll actually keep the dock this time, because I didn't keep it from my original Switch, so I still have my hack Switch, my hack pink Switch Lite, which I'm gonna keep for like Smashbox and stuff, but yeah, here's the Joy-Con 2 grip. I do like this grip a bit, but I definitely would like to get a charger grip at some point, or a combination like charger and comfort grip, because this grip does get a bit uncomfortable after a while, just because it's kind of a weird shape. The original Joy-Con grip I think was a lot more comfortable. This one's just kind of booty cheeks for your hands to grab onto. But hey, I mean, for free, a free accessory, wow. It's fine, it does its work. I don't know, if I get the charging grip, I'll definitely hold on to this one for a play or two, because I know some people don't think the Joy-Cons are that comfortable. I do like the mouse mode. I like that you can literally, it's so seamless. You can literally just sit it down on like any surface, and it becomes a pretty decent mouse. According to the welcome tour, which yes, I did buy that, why not? This is like, this is basically the replacement for the IR camera, and this thing is like really, really tiny pixels in it, and it detects the pixels, like it detects the texture of what surface you have it on changing by like looking at the individual like parts that make it up. It's kind of weird to explain, but it's basically a camera. It's not like a trackball or anything. But I'm hoping that developers actually use the mouse mode. It would have been nice to see like free Switch 1 updates. I'm really, really surprised Mario Maker wasn't one of the first ones. I'm surprised Big Brain Academy on Switch got more attention, which felt really weird. I feel like Mario Maker should have been a priority. I hope that gets updated. Also, Clubhouse Games doesn't use the mouse mode, which I feel like that would be nice. I feel like mouse mode is a great solution to not a whole lot, but a few of the only touchscreen only games on the original Switch. I feel like it'd be nice if they just added a system-wide mouse mode that you can enable that would let you emulate the touchscreen. That way you can play touchscreen only games on the TV. I think that would be a really nice quality of life addition. I don't know if Nintendo's going to do that, or they're going to make like a accessory or something, like a second screen or something. I have no idea. It'd just be nice if they had a system-wide for like dock mode that you can emulate touchscreen presses. Especially with double mice, you can really simulate like multi-touch. I think that'd be cool. I do think it's kind of dumb that both these mice, both Joy-Cons, control one mouse on the home screen, but like a few games that do support it. Some of them do show two different cursors, so I don't really think that matters though. Because who's really using two mice to flash over icons on the home menu? Not really anybody. I do like that it's unified for the entire Switch operating system. That is nice. I also think Smash Ultimate needs an update for it too. It'd be nice for stage builder mode. It might even just be a funny way to like control characters maybe. I don't know, probably not. But yeah, that's gonna go on my next point is Switch 1 games. I don't have any Switch 2 physical games right now. I literally have Mario Kart right now. I have Smash in. Like always, I do plan on getting Donkey Kong Bonanza. That'll probably be my first physical game, unless I can get it cheaper somehow, digitally, which I don't think I really can. But some Switch 1 games just do not look good on the Switch 2. This is a 1080p screen, and there's no way to force a dock mode preset, which is possible because if you have a hack switch, you can do that. It'd be a really great option for people who can't update their Switch games, like developers, or for like there's probably some developers that have games on the eShop that have like gone out of business or don't make games anymore and aren't ever gonna update for the Switch 2's handheld mode screen. So I think adding a like right in this menu right here, adding an option for software information, like there's literally like a gap right here. I think they should add in like change display mode, like have it say handheld or dock, like Switch 1 dock, 1080, or just have a resolution setter or something, anything to force 1080p dock mode, because the Switch 2 can handle it. I definitely think that should be added sooner than later. It would be a great quality of life feature, and it would save a lot of games on the Switch 2. Because so far the handheld mode it's alright. I don't really think the Switch 2 has a definitive better mode. I think they both have their flaws. Some of the main flaws I've had with this thing so far, it's mainly been like games looking bad. I have more Switch 1 games, obviously, because there's not a lot of Switch 2 games right now, and all the ones that are out are not really that interesting to me. I would like for there to be definitely resolution modes. I'm really tired. I just want to do this now. I have these thoughts on my mind, but it would be nice. Look at all these games. There's more too. I just don't want to hoard a bunch of games in here like I already am, but I think adding the dock mode preset would be good. Battery life on this thing is pretty bad. It kind of reminds me of the Steam Deck, because that thing also died pretty quick. There's a lot more horsepower going in work here. I think it would be nice if there was like a power saving mode added in an update. The HDR also isn't real in handheld mode. The screen is not bright enough to output like a real HDR. The Switch Lite actually has more nits to do HDR, which is insane. I'm hoping Nintendo updates the Switch 2 for that. Otherwise, I actually do think they'll probably do a class action lawsuit for it, because it is technically false advertising. I also heard all the problems about the screen ghosting, but I haven't really noticed that very much. I noticed kind of like the lower brightness more than anything. And they do say the speakers are better, but like some games they sound worse. I think the speakers on here are exactly the same as the Switch OLED, but just repositioned differently. And I don't really think the repositioning is very beneficial. The Welcome Tour also talked about that a bit. So I don't know. The speakers are okay. If I'm going anywhere, I'm still gonna prefer handheld modes, like headphones, more than anything. But yeah, I definitely believe that the HDR stuff should be fixed if possible. I think they're just get. Definitely think they should try to fix it, but they're probably gonna try to do a switch to OLED or something. But HDR actually is improved or whatever. Yeah, I don't really have that many issues with it besides like that and the battery life and the resolution of some Switch 1 games that aren't updated being quite low. Like when I do a full review, when it's not 5 a.m., Pokemon Shield is a game that still runs and looks worse than it did on the Switch 1 in handheld mode, which is crazy. I do notice there's some more Pokemon spawning in, so there's definitely some advantages of the hardware being taken here. I don't have Scarlet or Violet. I have Violet on hold from a library. So I guess I'll try that once I shows up. I also have Cyberpunk on hold from a library, which is kind of cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying that. That's the only reason I haven't bought it yet, is because it's on hold. So another thing is like I like that the storage is 256. I think it like should be higher. Like I don't even have that many games, and I already have 83 gigs left out of 256, and 256 micro SD express card has 93 gigs. So I don't know. Fortnite being 40 gigs is kind of ass, but you know it's a big game, I guess, and I have a lot of Switch One games that I want to play on here. When I had my Switch Lite as my main game system, I had so many games installed on the Emuland, and I kind of really didn't prioritize any of them. I kind of over installed. So I think limiting myself to the games I legitimately bought and I pirated on the Switch 2 is definitely going to inspire me to play games I haven't really picked up in a while or have ever played before. Stop, you fucker. So, yeah, I definitely gonna play some more older Switch 1 games on here. That's what I really want. The dock mode preset, I think that'll definitely make the battery life even worse than it is. I know some people are having issues with the calibration on here. Battery life, I've done it twice now, and it seems to be fine now. But yeah, the battery life's not great. I also do kind of wish there was an option to disable charging the Joy-Cons while they're connected. Because it seems like even if like, I've had this out for the duration of maybe like 15 minutes, I'm pretty sure if I remove this one and put this one on, it'll start charging. Okay, I guess not. I've been wrong before, but yeah, that would be a nice little feature. I think there definitely needs to be themes on this system. I'm not saying they need to be like wallpaper engine levels of animated, but I think it would be nice to like at least let you fucking use the screenshots you've taken in games to be a background picture, like on the PS3. I still think the 3DS did it the best, but I don't think we're ever gonna see themes like that again, ever. So it would be nice if the Switch 2 actually added themes. I mean, we did technically get folders in an update on the Switch 1. And that was kind of more in demand than themes. So now that that's out of the way, on a new fancy console, maybe themes can just be a Switch 2 exclusive. Maybe a little bit more incentive. Because it just would be nice to have a little bit of personality. Just a little bit. I don't like that the UI is basically exactly the same. I mean, there are some good tweaks. Like, the eShop is actually really fast, even on my crappy internet, because I've had to downgrade my internet. Like, it loads so much quicker. Actually, since the system isn't hacked, I can't confirm this, but I do believe that there's like a cache system in work here. I believe that's helping it run a lot better. Game chat is something I actually have tested earlier today, and I was using it to play Fast, the new Fast game or whatever, the racing game, Fast Fusion. That game only supports online multiplayer via game share, which is odd. Not really sure what that's held back like that for, but it worked well. My roommate was vacuuming, and the person who was game chatting could not hear the vacuum at all. They did say it lagged a little bit, dropped some frames, kind of slowed down a bit. I said it was mostly playable, and the input lag really wasn't like bad at all. So game chat with game share online definitely seems to be pretty good. My only gripe is I wish you could game share with Switch 1 users. Like online, you can't. So you have to have game chat. which I think is kind of disappointing. Maybe they'll add it in an update. I think it might just be because the Switch 2 probably has a faster Wi-Fi card, so it's easier for them to both game share compared to Switch 1, which has almost a 10-year-old Wi-Fi card in it by now. So I think that might be part of the reason. I'm not really sure. You can game share locally, which is basically the Switch 2 making a hotspot. Kind of like download play. I haven't tested that yet, but I'm sure that works pretty good. Next time my friend's over, I'm gonna try doing that with either Bonanza or Mario Odyssey. Just hoping to test it with. I'm kind of hoping more Switch 1 games get updated. I think Smash would be a great game to have game share added, at least for local. Online, I really actually online would be kind of cool. Think for like Spirit Battles or a classic mode or All Star. Yeah, there'd be input lag, but I mean in those modes it really doesn't matter that much. So I think Smash Ultimate definitely needs an update. Not an upgrade pack or whatever. Maybe like a new character or two for $20 or $10 would be pretty cool. But I don't think they're adding any more characters. I think Ultimate will get a update, and I don't own these games, but I do think the Xenoblade games all definitely need an update. I've seen some videos of that, and they all look pretty fucking bad. Considering how much Microsoft likes to push the graphical limit of every system they release games on. I think they're gonna be announced probably the next Nintendo Direct, is my guess. The Mario Maker definitely needs mouse controls and maybe 4K for the 3D World art style just to match the 3D World update that they put out. I am glad 3D World was one of the first games they updated. Let's test game share on that too. But yeah, that's gonna do it for my initial couple days with the Switch 2. I definitely like it a lot. I think when this thing gets hacked, it'll be a beast. It'll basically be like a mini Steam Deck. I think it'll be kind of like the mini Steam Deck Mini. I am looking forward to seeing if this thing gets hacked. One thing that's interesting is that when these connect to the Switch 2, they're actually connecting for like a really weird USB. So I'm kind of wondering if like maybe like making a fake Joy-Con to like hack the Switch 2 will be a way of getting into it. Maybe like a hardware exploit there or something. I am hoping that at least some form of homebrew would be really nice to test RetroArch on here. It'd be even funny to test Yuzu, like, and run like Linux on here. I think that'd be really cool, especially with a built-in mouse. But I think that's at least 2 years away. It did take the Switch about 2 years or so to get hacked and custom firmware, so I am kind of hoping for that. I don't think getting a Switch 2 on the original system firmware is gonna matter at all, though. I think if any exploits happen, it's gonna be hardware or bug in a Switch 2 game, the Switch 2 exclusive game. But I definitely do hope that this thing gets hacked eventually. I still just kind of want it hacked for Smash mods because I think Smash mods are fun. I know people have been messing with the MIG Switch flashcard and been getting banned for it. I will not be doing that. So, this Switch is not gonna get banned at all. But yeah, that ends my rambling session. I will do a proper review. I do have a capture card that I have found. Doesn't output the best, but should do. So, definitely want to do a proper review at some point. But yeah, thanks for listening to my rambling.